Hi, my name's David. Today I'm going to show you how to tighten the alternator belt on your alternator. This happens to be on a boat diesel engine, but it doesn't matter whether it's on a boat, car, diesel, gas, it doesn't matter at all. The concept is the same in all cases. So we'll get started here. It's helpful to have something to tension the belt once you've loosened the adjustment bolt. And I have used a handle from a hammer. This should work well. This is an aluminum piece of tubing, piece of an old shovel cut off. Anything like that, you're going to use this to pry once you've loosened the adjusting bolts. You're going to use this to tension the alternator to make it tighter, and while you're doing that, you will then tighten the adjusting bolt or nut. Okay, to orient you, all alternators have a mounting bolt at the bottom that the alternator pivots on. We're going to slightly loosen that so that it pivots very freely, but the most important nut is up here, the adjustment nut or bolt, and we've got to loosen that so that it moves very freely, and then while you're tensioning it with your piece of wood, then you're going to tighten this adjustment nut here. Here's another picture. This is the bottom attachment point, and again we'll just slightly loosen that nut down there, and then up at the top is where you do your adjustment. There's a metal adjustment band of sorts, and there's a nut that screws in here, and once you get it properly tensioned, then you quickly tighten this nut up here. So mounting bolt down here, adjustment nut up here. You may wonder how you know when you need to tension your alternator belt, and one rule of thumb, this is from my manual for my alternator, they say if you can depress the belt anywhere any more than 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, then you need to tighten it. Another way to tell whether you need to tighten it is if you can turn the alternator by hand, then that belt is too loose. If you can grab the cooling fins and turn it by hand, then it's too loose. So mine's borderline. We're about to leave on a big trip, so I'm going to snug it up some. Okay, this is my alternator. This is the adjustment bolt that we will loosen after we've loosened the mounting bolt slightly. And I just grabbed this pulley up here and I was able to turn it by hand a little bit. So that's another sign, as I said earlier, that it needs to be tightened. Also, if you're getting some alternator belt dust around your engine, then that's another sign that it could stand to be tightened some. So I'm going to find the right size wrenches here for this bolt up here, and then for the mounting bolt, and we'll loosen both of those, the mounting bolt just slightly, and then loosen this adjusting bolt enough that it moves very easily, and then you'll take your piece of wood, pipe, whatever, and you'll you'll put it between the engine and the alternator, and you'll press it outward to tighten that belt while you quickly tighten that adjusting nut bolt. Okay, in my alternator, the top adjusting nut or bolt is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put this ratchet on it and loosen that top bolt right now. Okay, I've loosened both those bolts, the bottom mounting one just slightly. In fact, I probably could have gotten away without loosening it, but I loosened it a little bit. And then the top adjusting one. Now I've stuck my lever between the engine block and the alternator, and I will pry the alternator out, tightening the belt, and then I'll quickly tighten that adjustment bolt right there that we've loosened. Okay, be sure and tighten this adjusting nut or bolt really tight. Mine, when I loosened it, wasn't very tight, and that's probably why my belt was a tad loose. And then after you tighten that up really well, then tighten up that bottom mounting bolt. On mine, I had to put a wrench on the bolt on the back side and then put a ratchet on the nut, because if I didn't do that, then the bolt would turn. So you may have to do that. So now this belt is much tighter, it deflects much less, and should be much better. So good luck with the job. It's really pretty simple, and it's nice to be able to know how to do this if you are stuck out on your boat and your belt's too loose, or your car, whatever. So good luck, have fun, goodbye.